Today on Rock the Park, we're blazing a fresh trail into the backcountry.
You don't see a single footprint in a place this incredible. You feel like it's all yours.
Only to discover we're not alone.
These are wolf prints right next to our camp.
We're learning to spot the warning signs of a possible disaster.
That's what's going to cause an avalanche.
It's winter in Grand Teton National Park, and the clock is ticking.
You guys have 2 minutes.
And it all starts right now. I'm Jack Stewart.
And I'm Colton Smith. We've been buddies for years, and we love exploring the national parks.
It's all about packing up a car and just doing it, just hitting the road.
Our goal is to visit every national park in this country.
And when you go off the beaten path like we do,
there's no telling what will happen next.
Get set to rock the park. Sometimes to truly appreciate nature, you've got to tackle the places few people ever see.
On this trip, we're charting new terrain and pushing our limits on the slopes of Wyoming's rugged backcountry.
We're headed into avalanche territory. This is a side of Grand Teton National Park we've never seen before. Grand Teton National Park is in northwestern Wyoming, just south of Yellowstone National Park and part of the same ecosystem.
This place is so hard to beat. I mean, just the sheer beauty of the Grand Teton Range is just mind-boggling.
The Grand Teton Range is part of the Rocky Mountains. These are some of the youngest peaks on the continent and the most spectacular. They were formed 9 million years ago by a shifting of the Earth's crust that pushed them up along a fault line.
This park's got a lot of history for me. It's one of the first parks I ever went to as a kid, and it inspired me to come out and really get into nature and explore our national parks. Grand Teton National Park gets an average of 14 feet of snow each year. Now, some parks empty out in the winter, but this one becomes a mecca for skiers. We're here to try backcountry skiing for the first time, which means we're headed into the wilderness where there are no marked paths or groomed trails. I'm nervous about this. The fact is, I'm not much of a skier. I've only skied a few times, and even on a groomed slope, I have my limitations.
Guys, how you doing?
The good news is we've got a trusted guide for this new experience.
I can't believe you guys came back.
I know.
Are you kidding me? After last time?
Yeah, it was awesome, huh?
Oh.
Last year, local guide Brenton Regan led us up the tallest mountain in the park.
Oh, baby.
The one that gives the whole range its name.
Oh, man.
Yes! Wow! We're on the summit of the Grand Teton. Today, we're in the shadow of that same mountain, facing a new challenge. So I gotta ask, I haven't done a ton of skiing in my life. I've certainly never done anything like this.
You have to manage the terrain appropriately, and you need the appropriate snow conditions if you are very much a beginner.
In the Tetons, the first order of business is assessing the risk of an avalanche.
All right, so I have some avalanche safety equipment for you guys. I'm gonna give you guys each one beacon, which I'll go over here in a second. The other thing I have is we each have a probe. These are long probes. They'll help you probe in the snow for things and or people. And then you'll each have a shovel, which is how you dig a pit to assess the snow or dig somebody out.
Anyone planning a backcountry ski trip needs to check the condition of the snowpack in the area where you're starting out.
You must really be used to this, Colton, in Minnesota, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, I'll do my own little avalanche test when I'm shoveling the driveway, you know?
Checking the snowpack means digging a pit that reaches to the ground and is big enough to stand in.
All right, there we go, that's the ground.
Nice.
The idea is to expose the different layers of snow from each snowfall so you can check out how stable they are. When I think about sports like skiing or climbing, you think of them as just hobbies, but this is a full science. Snow science is used to evaluate avalanche risk using tools for measuring elevation and angle of slope, analyzing snow crystals, and even checking snow temperature. Brenton starts with just his hand, testing how hard or soft each layer of snow is.
What I don't want to see is something that's very thick over something that's like really weak, because that weak layer, that's what's going to cause an avalanche when you have strong over weak.
On a snowy mountain slope, if something causes the softer layers underneath to give way, the top layers start to move downhill, setting off a chain reaction. There are a lot of things that could trigger this. New snowfall, a temperature rise, earthquakes or tremors, and even skiers and snowmobilers can disturb the layers of accumulated snow, leading to an avalanche.
The thing with avalanche safety is you're making sure that you don't get hurt yourself, but you're also looking out for those around you. If you were to trigger an avalanche, you might not be the one who's directly in the path. It could be your friend.
Brenton finds the bottom layer is made up of fragile snow crystals called facets.
You can just tell by touching them, but angulated grains, faceting, yep. Which means it's very weak at the bottom.
So that's exactly what we don't want.
Exactly what we don't want.
That means we won't be skiing here, but Brenton's colleagues around the park have identified a safer section. So now it's time to get ourselves ready.
So what's next?
We're gonna go to Snow King and we're gonna go learn how to ski.
To assess our skill level, Brenton leads us down the beginner slope. It's gentle and the snow is groomed for the smoothest possible descent. But not smooth enough. If I can't handle this, what's going to happen in the backcountry?
I'm angry, I'm frustrated, and I don't know what I'm doing right now.
It's winter in Grand Teton National Park, and we're preparing for our first ever backcountry skiing adventure. Even though I'm a beginner, I wasn't expecting to have this much trouble.
I'm angry, I'm frustrated, and I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Luckily, our guide Brenton is a very patient teacher.
My hips are gonna tell me where I wanna go. As I go across the hill, my hips are this way.
I know that Jack is a little nervous, and I don't blame him. I mean, I'm somebody who has done a decent amount of skiing, and I'm a little nervous myself. We're gonna be trekking into the backcountry where there are no groomed routes.
What is your take? I mean, give it to me straight. Like,
I think I think we're gonna have a really good time out there. That's gonna be a big adventure for you.
yeah.
But I think we can manage it.
Okay,
Yeah.
and the real fun begins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Packing up for tomorrow's winter camping, we're taking on another kind of challenge.
Why don't you take what we're gonna need out of there and break it in half, and we'll put them in some of these compostable bags.
It's all about recycling and making sure that we're not putting garbage into some of the most amazing places in our country. Visitors to the national parks generate more than 100 million pounds of garbage per year. Grand Tetons is one of the 3 pilot parks trying to eliminate virtually all trash. The program is called the Zero Landfill Initiative, and Subaru, one of our sponsors, is working with the National Parks Conservation Association and the national parks on how to reduce, reuse, recycle, or compost all waste. We're doing our part, packing food in compostable bags and carrying reusable cups and bowls. Our goal is to generate 0 trash.
I remember the first times we went out, we had the 24-pack of water in the back of the car. We had paper plates, we had plastic spoons, knives, and all that.
And when you think about how many people visit the national parks, that's a lot of waste.
It's time to find a place to camp on the lower slopes of Mount Canyon.
All right, it seems as if we're ready to rock. We got all of our stuff tied down, packed up.
Cool, sleds look good. You guys have your shovel, sleeping bags, pads,
Yep.
pots, pans, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Lightweight sleds are a lot easier than wearing heavy backpacks.
It is crazy to be in a park that I know so well, that means so much to me, but have it feel so different. I mean, the winter time here is a whole nother experience.
You can wake up on any given day, strap on your skis, strap on your snowshoes, and you don't see a single footprint, a single ski track. In a place this incredible, you kind of feel like it's all yours.
We're crossing Jackson Lake to get to Mount Canyon, and already we can see evidence of just how real the risk of avalanche is.
So as you guys can see, as we get a little closer to where we're headed to go skiing, there is definitely some sign of some instability with a handful of, I'd say, medium-sized avalanches up there.
Okay, now I've got a question. We're headed straight for this.
We're actually gonna be camped pretty far away from it. When you're looking for a good place to winter camp, you wanna make sure you're not in the run-out zone of an avalanche path.
We're now about halfway across the lake, and we see the first signs that we're not alone out here.
So this is crazy. Do you see these tracks?
Oh yeah.
They look kind of small, but it's got to be a fox, right?
Fox, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of foxes that live right around here.
You remember, not too far from here in Yellowstone last winter, we saw a fox just going out and diving headfirst into the snow.
Foxes usually hunt at night, but in the winter when food is scarce, they come out into the open, sometimes in broad daylight, listening for small animals under the snow.
The amount of wildlife that you can find here, it's in abundance. I mean, elk, moose, fox, wolves, bears.
This is wilderness.
Once we reach the other side of the lake, the going gets a little tougher as we head up the slopes. Brenton brings us to a sheltered level spot that looks good for making camp.
So, we're gonna, I guess, set up our tent and eat some food.
Great.
Yeah. All right.
I'll do the same thing and then I'll come back and check on you guys in a little bit.
Cool,
Sounds good.
Good. First things first, we tamp down the snow so we can pitch our tent on smooth, level ground.
Nice little dance training, too, you know?
And we aren't the only ones making tracks in this snow.
These are wolf prints.
Oh, man.
Right next to our camp, and I see these right here, but I also see a lot of other prints that look very similar. So we may have a wolf pack in the area.
Seeing a wolf would be awesome and incredibly lucky. They were non-existent here until the Park Service reintroduced them in the 1990s. Wolves tend to live and hunt in packs, and together they can take down a much larger animal like an elk or a deer.
Once the tent is set up, we set to work on a lunch of summer sausage and spaghetti. It tastes even better knowing that there is absolutely nothing that can't be reused or recycled.
This is all the food we brought, and none of it is gonna go into a landfill.
This is great.
We'll need these carbs and protein because Brenton's taking us farther up the mountain to test our ability to find and rescue someone in the event of an avalanche.
Time is of the essence, and it's very hard to be calm and collected.
We're preparing to ski the backcountry of the Grand Tetons. But first, because this is avalanche country, we're getting a lesson on how to rescue someone buried under the snow. This is serious business. On average, 27 people are killed each year by avalanches in the United States.
Companion rescue is something that seems pretty simple in the fact of it's like, how am I gonna rescue my friend once or if he gets into an avalanche? But we wanna go over how to use our beacons and how to dig them out.
And this is something you want to be like second nature. It's supposed to be a habit where you just go, boom, you're ready.
If a member of a group is caught in an avalanche, the other group member's first job is to stand and watch.
I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna watch exactly where he goes because the first most important piece of information is point last seen.
That's the point where these emergency beacons become lifesavers. They're transmitters and can send and receive signals from each other. For today's practice rescue, we're looking for a beacon that Brenton buried in a backpack somewhere within this area of about 50 by 100 yards.
What you're gonna do is you guys are both gonna get your beacons out. You're gonna turn them to search, okay?
On search, the beacons are receiving rather than transmitting.
So when I tell you guys to go, you have 7 minutes to find one beacon. Okay. So it's one beacon in 7 minutes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Moving fast while walking on skis is tough.
Zigzag, slow and smooth.
The way the beacons work, the numbers on the meter go down the closer you get to the transmitter on the buried victim.
Oh, 48. 48, okay. I still have nothing over here. We've got 7 minutes to do this, and imagine if somebody was actually trapped underneath the snow. Time is of the essence, and it's very hard to be calm and collected.
A person buried under snow can start to suffocate in as little as 2 or 3 minutes. But if you move too fast and miss the signal, you may not get a second chance.
44, 42.
45.
Tell me it's this way, 41, 40. 38, 36, 30,
32,
25,
30.
13, 11, 9. I'm right on top of it.
Even now, we have to triple check the readings, making sure we're right over the beacon.
1.2.
You gotta get lower, like you gotta get
0.9.
low like this on the snow. Find the
0.8.
lowest number.
1, 0.6, 0.5, 0.6, 0.5. This is it, 0.5.
You go left and right on the 0.5?
Yep.
Okay,
That's
do right again.
0.6, 0.8.
Okay, drop your
0.5.
glove at 0.5.
Now comes the probe. You have to know where the person is, because if you start digging when you're off by even a couple of feet, there may not be time to try again.
There it is.
There it is. Yep, that's not crushed. All right, right there.
You guys have 2 minutes.
There it is.
There it is. Get it out.
Yes!
Nice job.
Yes!
All
All
right.
right, you did it. Good
Yes.
work. Good work.
We realize that this is just the tiniest fraction of what a real rescue situation would be.
In a real avalanche, I would imagine you would only be so lucky to have 2-3 feet of snow to dig through.
After all this, we have an even greater awareness that you can't afford to take chances out here. The temperatures have been rising throughout the day, so it's no surprise when Breton advises us of a slight change in plans.
We're probably gonna stay off the steeper terrain today because we have the evidence of recent avalanches and we haven't had a chance to go up there and look and see what the layer of concern is.
It looks like the only skiing we'll be doing is around our campsite. At least that should make things a little easier for me. Or maybe not.
We're in the backcountry of the Grand Tetons, and our plan was to do some downhill off-trail skiing. However, there's a risk of avalanche higher up the slopes, so we're moving across some pretty mild terrain.
All right, you guys, here's where we're gonna ski. So I just want you to take a look at the terrain ahead of you and kind of plan where you want to make your turns.
The slope looks like it's very, very tame, but at the same time, it's still the unknown for me.
Remember with those bumps, like keep those ankles and knees flexed so you kind of absorb them. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
This is it. It's time to ski.
All right, you got it,
My
man.
objective is to manage my descent and not let my nerves get the better of me.
I pop down and I make my first turn, and instantly I feel out of control.
There's a turn.
Turn. Good turn, good sweeping turn.
Hands forward. Hands forward.
Little spill.
That
Little
was
spill right
little
there.
spill right
Not
there.
bad, though.
I think he's
He's
okay.
up.
He's up.
All right.
Yeah. Good job.
I'm okay, but my pride is definitely hurt. I definitely didn't think that I would wipe out this fast, but I'm not gonna let that ruin this entire run for me.
All right, here we go. Go nice and easy. Nice and easy.
I start to cruise, and I'm making my turns a lot smoother, and then I see it. A really, really steep section that will end right down at the lake.
He's cruising back down the mountain, but then he goes over the lip to the steepest part of the run, and I can't see him anymore.
Oh, he's going.
I wait about 20 seconds, and then I just hear yelling, and I know that he's made it down in one piece. Mission accomplished. Now it's my turn. It's fluffy powder, which is really different when you're trying to make these calculated turns. I'm remembering the little tips that Breton taught me, and this is just a ton of fun. I get to the steep part, and I just go for it and hope for the best.
Can he do it?
Even though the threat of avalanche limited our skiing terrain and I'm still getting the hang of it, we learned some valuable lessons on this trip.
This trip tested me.
Yeah.
Big time. When I fell 30 yards into the run, it was just like,
Yeah, you can't get discouraged.
All those tests and lessons aside, winter in the Tetons is a pretty epic experience.
It was so peaceful and still and silent. And those are the times and the moments where you just kind of sit back, soak it all in, and just say, I can't believe I'm doing this right now.
Yes!
Nice job.
Yes. Wyoming keeps challenging us.
Yeah.
It's hardcore, man. I can't wait to do it again.
I know.
What a wonderful world.
Hey, if he can do it, so can you.
So the next chance you get, go out and rock the park.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave any questions or comments that you have.
And please subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more to come.